Hello my bosom friends, and welcome back to my channel. Pray you're all doing wonderful and are keeping in extremely good health and in perfect happiness. We have passed 500 subscribers. Oh my god, I just want to say thank you so much. I know it is small potatoes to a lot of people, but to me this is honestly a big deal. So I am genuinely thankful for each and every one of you for partaking on this journey with me. Like I was saying in the comment section, that when you teach you learn, and when you learn you teach as well. So this is why I love content. I am a social introvert. I am introverted in every way, and I would much rather talk about a subject, a book, a show, a movie, a topic. I don't really like to yabba about myself, but I thought, why not come up with a get to know me, so that you sort of have a clearer understanding of who I am, where I'm coming from, and what makes me tick, and also as a way of thanking you so much for, like I said, partaking on this journey with me. I'm forever and ever grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for showing up and for subscribing. So yeah, if it does get a bit weird, I am sorry, because like I said, this is out of my comfort zone, but I'm going to do my best. I only have 10 facts, so I'm not gonna talk your ears off, and inshallah I hope it's not going to be too boring, because like I said, I'm just awkward like that. That's why I'm even standing up, so that I won't take too much of your time. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the 10 facts about me. Action. I was born and raised in Zimbabwe, right at the tip of Africa, close to the tip of the Southern African continent. Yes, I was born there. I was born in Harare. That makes me a Shona. There are only two main tribes. You get the Ndebeles and the Shonas. And I moved to Cape Town in my early 20s. So Cape Town is also forever and ever sentimental to me, because that's where I basically grew up, if you will. That's where I became a woman. That's where I gave birth to my son, and it forever and ever revolutionized my life in a magnificent way. Yes, I am a mother, like I said. My son is a Gemini, so pray for me. My Gayclet is Irish Zimbabwean, but before we go any further, he always corrects me. He says I'm Irish South African Zimbabwean, because he was born in Bloberg Hospital. I absolutely love that hospital. I still remember the smells. So yeah, he's a bit of a geek. Oh, he is a geek mostly. And if you hear me talk of, like I said, the Lord of the Rings, I'm very much inspired by him. Speaking of stars, I am a Taurus, and I think we definitely invented stubbornness. And there's so many traits about the Taurus that I love, and also there's so many traits that I kind of despise, if you will. But the more I learn and sit with the Taurus, the more I realize that she's not materialistic. I think I mentioned this in my other video. She just wants comfort. She wants familiarity, and she just wants things that go the distance. It's not about being materialistic. I think it really is about just having the best, and the best comfort, and hygge, and all those things. And also the thing about the things that have the best qualities, obviously they require the best raw materials, and that is pertaining not just to things, physical things like bags and shoes. It's also about relationships, about the kind of things we consume, foods. And if you are a Taurus, you understand. And I think one of the traits that saves me and also hurts me in equal measure is our stubbornness. I am extremely stubborn. Like I said, I think the Taurus did invent stubbornness, and it has helped me tremendously, my stubbornness. There are times when I'm bullheaded about something and I want it, and I take no hostages, and I go for it, and I don't care, and I just want it. I want it so badly. It saves me in that way. And then sometimes it hurts me in the sense that instead of being stubborn, I should actually I don't know, learn how to compromise, if you will. So yeah, I think we all have polarities about ourselves, parts that we hate and also parts that we like, and it's about doing the shadow work, isn't it? Working with the dark side and the light side, and I think the Taurus does that to me very well, particularly when it comes to stubbornness. One of the reasons why I like to talk about style, timeless elegance, is because I used to own a clothing shop. I used to own a boutique back in Cape Town, and prior to opening the boutique, I did the image consultancy course, and that was what, 11 years ago, before image consultancy was a thing. And the reason why I did that was because my son was a year and some months old when I decided to do the image consultancy course. And the reason being is because I just wanted a passion project. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I think it's the best thing to do. And also I was fortunate enough to be able to stay at home with my son, but I wanted to have a passion project that can keep me off the streets, obviously, and just entertained and challenging me, but still being home and still being a mom. So that's when I did the image consultancy course. So the more I did it, the more I became comfortable with it, the more I realized that instead of outsourcing the clothes for my clients, rather have a boutique. So that's what led me to opening the boutique. And yeah, it wasn't just a place where I used to sell blouses and dresses. It was also a place where women could come and get together and just feel at home. We'll talk about style, we'll talk about different colors, color analysis and dressing for your body type. So that's why I'm passionate about it. And it's amazing that even years and years later, I can still incorporate that into my YouTube videos. Top of the list, I would say Kanye West. There's something about that Gemini that excites me, and his music, his brilliance, and the way he's misunderstood as well. And yet underneath all that, he just is just a passionate man. I've loved him since The College Dropout, Pablo. I love Donda. I love Dark Fantasy. So his discography is utterly beautiful, extremely creative, and I think you can listen to Fade from like what, 6-7 years ago today, and you can still really vibe to it, as the new kids say now. I absolutely love him. And also I love The Killers. Oh my god, yes, The Killers. And What a Shorter Than Night. I love Human. Oh my goodness. And I just love music that speaks to me. And also the lead singer himself, Brendan Flowers. Oh my god, he also, just like Kanye, his discography is utterly beautiful, also timeless. And who else do I love? I love The National. Oh, No Guilty Party, Sleep Well Beasts. Oh my god, so many. Nobody Else Will Be There, Carrie at the Liquor Store. Yes, clearly I love boys. Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's also another trilogy written by Tolkien. That world that he created, I love that fantasy world. Recently it has just been moving me, I should say, and there's a lot of esoteric knowledge in those kind of movies, but you really have to be there. Like, you have to have evolved enough to really see and, I would say, appreciate it. Like 5 years ago, there was no way I would sit through Lord of the Rings. There's no way I would appreciate Bilbo in The Hobbit. And so it's just about evolving and changing. And also my son as well, he inspires me to not just watch these movies, but also to read the books when we're done watching the movies. Then we can have conversations about it, or maybe even prior to watching the movie we can read the book. And I think it just brings us closer, because even during the movies we can stop the movie and have conversations and partake in that as well. And really understand the psychological journey the actors are going through, their evolution as well, and how can that impact me on a daily basis. So yeah, definitely the Lord of the Rings trilogy, then obviously followed by The Hobbit. Yeah, those are pink. Favorite colors? Of course, pink and blue and green, I think, and white, obviously, yes, and a bit of gray and black. I love black. Black is slimming, but mostly pink, blue, but I think I'm going through a blue phase right now, so yeah, definitely those colors. My feminine journey, it began obviously in Zimbabwe, and I inherited a bunch of step brothers, and along with that came my aunt, my step aunt as well, and I was surrounded by all these boys, but there she was, utterly beautiful and extremely intelligent, soft spoken. She really was. She embodied the feminine energy without even trying, and back then we didn't even know what it was, obviously, and she really molded me and inspired me to tap into my femininity. And even back then, like, you could see pictures of me dressed in my shorts because I had the tomboy influence, knowing that I had all these brothers, and you'd see me in my shorts with a little blouse tucked in and my pointed little flat shoes. And to this day I still wear those things, and I am extremely comfortable in my jeans, in my pants, in my shorts, and I can still feel feminine in them. And I think there is a lot of misconception about being feminine, that you have to be in a freely dress all the time and 6-inch heels. That's not the case. And for me, like I said, this is my programming. It's going to be different for everybody. This is why I keep on emphasizing that, you know what, it is your own journey. And I used to love doing that, and like I said, today I still do. And my aunt, she was kind enough to let me abuse her makeup altogether because she was significantly older than me. So I would watch her get dressed in the morning. She would be putting on her makeup before she goes to work, and I would think, oh my gosh, I wonder what that feels like to be that beautiful. And like I said, she wasn't just beautiful on the surface level. She had this beautiful, gentle spirit, and she would never raise her voice. And like I said, she would let me abuse her stuff, and when she would come back in the evenings, things would be a mess. And maybe I'll try to put it back, but you can tell that, look, a 7-year-old was literally in my eyeshadow, if you will. And even her perfumes, like there was a perfume, to this day I haven't forgotten that scent. It was called Pretty Woman. So there was the musk version and the flowery version of it. I used to love the flowery version. The musk one was just kind of like headache inducing. And funny enough, I don't like anything too musky today. That's how far I go back with my journey, and I am so thankful for her as well, because she really taught me so many things. And like I said, in those formative years, you don't even know what you're doing, you just see and it speaks to you. And she would allow me to express my little fantasy with her stuff, and I'll play with this perfume, and I'll be so drenched when she comes back during the day, and I'd go and show off to my friends, look at my nail polish, look at my hair, look at my lipstick. And she didn't mind, bless her, bless her. So yes, and then as I got older, we'd start reading together. She would do my hair, and she was just a lady. She still is, obviously. And so that's how it all began. But I still very much have a tomboy twist to me, and I just love both sides of who I am, you know, the yin and the yang. And we all have masculine and feminine energy, but in terms of femininity, I would say I was molded, and just by watching her, not because she was instilling these things in me, like force feeding it on me. She was just being herself, and I was just looking at her and thinking, how does it feel to be this eloquent, to be this soft spoken, to be this lady? and she kind of reminded me of Lady Diana. And also we used to glorify Lady Diana as well, because we have the British influence, and even the puffy sleeves, you know, like after watching Dallas, she would tell me about it, and I would think, oh wow, I would love something like that. Yeah, that would look nice. Or maybe she'll buy something similar, and I'll be like, I want that, I want that. And yeah, that's how it all began. And again, it's a journey, obviously, never a destination. Definitely Breaking Bad, for sure. Walter White, I mean, come on, definitely. And Jesse Pinkman, his character development was utterly brilliant as well. And obviously the prequel, Better Call Saul, Jimmy McGill, a lawyer you can trust. I absolutely love Jimmy, and more importantly, I love the banters between Jimmy and Chuck, his brother. Season 4, 5, from the beginning, Chuck was amazing, such a seasoned actor, and it's, oh my god, I'm sentimental about the whole crew basically. And obviously the Salamancas, so if you watch obviously Better Call Saul, you know what I'm talking about. And I also love the Peaky Blinders, Thomas Shelby. He's one of my absolute favorite villains. He is feared in the streets of Birmingham, but when it comes to the people he loves, his children, his family, his sisters, he is so ooey and gooey and chewy inside. And much like Nicholas from the originals, I also love that show. What else? I love Downton Abbey for that refinement, for that elegance, you know, that time and place, you know, shows like that, definitely. And I love The Simpsons. Oh my god, Homer Simpson. Who doesn't love Simpsons if you just want to have a good old laugh? Definitely, they were the pioneers of American comedies. And obviously we cannot finish talking of shows without mentioning Michael Gary Scott from The Office. Dwight, oh my god, yes. Jim, yes, for sure, definitely. Who else? What else? Yeah, that's it for shows. I don't really consume a lot of TV, but those are my absolute favorites. I can see them as my desert island shows, if you will. Bronte sisters, Charlotte Bronte, Emily Bronte, I love them. Jane Austen, who doesn't? If you're a literature lover, obviously you've read or are reading, or you have Jane Austen within reach, obviously. I love Charles Dickens. I'm currently reading Tess by Thomas Hardy. Thomas Hardy was introduced to me obviously randomly. I was at a donation shelf, and there was a book, very old. The pages are brown at this point, actually not even yellow, they were brown. It was slightly torn, and I just saw this book, and it was called The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy. And I just love the world that he also creates. And he was utterly talented. So I read Thomas Hardy, Mayor of Casterbridge. So since then I just really created this love affair of his books. And far from the maiden crowd, in terms of African writers, I haven't read many, to be quite honest, but Chinua Achebe, another brilliant Nigerian writer. It's a very old book, but if you really want to get into it, it's really amazing. And obviously Paulo Coelho, but like I said, it's about evolving, isn't it? Many years ago, I would say 5 years ago, I wasn't heavily into Paulo Coelho and The Alchemist. It is still sentimental to me, but yeah, it's about evolving. Currently I'm relishing, like I said, Thomas Hardy. So it all depends on the time, and what you're going through, what your soul is craving. And also Andrzej Sapkowski, as I called him in my previous video, I apologize. Andrzej Sapkowski, yes, a Polish writer. Also brilliant, brilliant. The Last Wish, The Witcher, definitely one of my absolute favorites. There's a line that sums up everything I've said and my journey thus far. He said, my life, my punishment. I have learned to put up with it, and if it gets worse, I will get used to that too. And that takes me back to being the Taurus, being stubborn. So that's all we have time for today. When we get to 1000, inshallah, we'll do a Q&A. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. It's very much different from everything I have covered so far, but I just thought, now that we're bosom friends, why not become a little bit personal? Yes, despite my awkward introvertedness. So take care of one another, love one another, and be kind to one another, if nothing else. And I shall be seeing you in my next video. Bye.